Okay, do you know what the basic word order of VS? Do you know how common VSO is?
I think it's like the third most common.
Good job, Veronica. It's the third most common basic word order in the languages of the world. Okay, any other questions on Welsh? No? Okay then, class, I have a very special surprise for you. We are having a language research project. So basically what's going to happen is I am going to give you a language. You will have to go to the point of origin and figure out the language family, language contact information, related languages, basic word order, and information about the speakers, like their home and their culture. Yes?
Can we have a group of 2 or 3 people?
No, I think you guys are going to be working on your own. It's a test grade. Alright. So, I will be giving you your languages. You are not allowed to choose. Prisha, you have Hindi.
Yeah.
Shaurya, you have Gujarati.
Okay.
Emily, you have Spanish.
Yay.
Veronica, you have Welsh.
Oh, out of all of the languages, I get that one, the most rarest. How come everybody gets these other languages?
Well, Veronica, seeing as we just finished the entire unit on Welsh, you have lots of notes to help you. So you should do fine. Okay, and alright, time's up. Class dismissed.
Hello and welcome to Wales.
Hi.
Hi, I'm your tourist guide, Bob.
Hey, Bobby. Best friend.
Okay, so today I'll be telling you about the language family, information about the speakers, and the history of Welsh. Okay, it seems like we have a really over-enthusiastic child with us. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. So, this is a very important historical manner in Welsh, Welsh history and culture. It's totally not Prisha A's house. Totally.
Is this manor architecture or Welsh, whatever it is?
That's not architecture, that's a fallen brick. Okay, so basically, Old Welsh was developed from Brythonic, which is a Celtic language spoken at the time of the Roman Empire, which is the 5th century. And throughout what is now England, Wales, and the southern half of Scotland. The earliest poetry dates back to the 6th century and actually comes from Strathclyde, which is southern Scotland. So, Old English gradually displaced Welsh in what became England, but Welsh continues to develop as the main language of the independent Welsh kingdoms throughout the Middle Ages. So, the kings of England gradually conquered Wales in 1536. Henry VII completed the process of its incorporation of Welsh into England. So, then English became the only official language in Wales, and this did not change until 1993. The upper layers of society, the aristocrats, became pretty thoroughly assimilated and gradually stopped using Welsh.
I have a question. Is it called Welsh? It's because Wales called it Welsh, so they made their own language because it was hard to speak underwater? Or is it called Welsh?
First of all, whales are a creature that live in the ocean.
Oh my god, I thought they were...
And Wales is a place.
What? I had no idea. I thought that was an animal that lives with grass.
Grass?
Yeah, it's green.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. I assume that's a compliment, right?
Sure, whatever you want to think. Anyway, so the aristocrats stopped using Welsh and started using English more. And then it's less and less spoken. Until the late 19th century, Welsh remained the sole language of a vast majority of the Welsh population. You might ask, why did this happen? It's because Welsh people are really proud of their language, and then they became very like proud of their language. A common saying in Welsh is, a nation without a language is a nation without a heart.
This is all very interesting, Mr. Ball, but could you tell us more about the modern language of Welsh?
Okay, sure. So, in the mid-20th century, Welsh speakers started to campaign for more linguistics rights because Welsh was less spoken, and an end to the historical marginalization of the language in so many spheres of life. Because earlier, people who spoke Welsh language family. So, Welsh came from Proto-Celtic, which became Gallo-Brythonic, then Brythonic, and then Welsh. Related languages are Pictish, Cornish, and Gaelic. Are you taking a photo of dog poop?
No. Apparently, yesterday I've been web browsing. Yeah.
You're taking a photo of dog poop.
No. So I searched up what dog poop means, and apparently it is dog poop. And then I saw it.
But I need a lot of help with the phonological processes and the phonotactics.
Tell me what you know.
Okay, so Welsh has a great number of plural endings, including ow, eow, ion, on, and e, and so on. And if you want to talk or write about other people, you need to change the ending after verbs. Like ast means you, singular, and odd or eel means he did something in the past. Ast means you, singular, did something in the past. And modern Welsh does not have case, just like English. Ali is a prefix meaning for the second time. Ali plus grand becomes alirand, to do again, or to do a second time. Dad as in the sense of causing a reverse effect. So dad plus grand becomes dadgland, to undo. And then, you know the verb gland for to make or to do, which can be used with a variety of prefixes. Grand mutates to land when you stick a prefix onto it. And that's about it.
Alright, well, you are missing everything about phonological processes and phonotactics. But first, we started with history. Because of their different roots, Welsh and English have basic differences related to vocab and grammar. Years of cultural exchange have filled English and Welsh with words borrowed from each other and gave origin to mixtures of Welsh and English, used every day by code-switching Wales natives. Welsh can be an easier language to learn than English because it's more straightforward phonologically. But the greatest challenge posed to learners outside the UK is probably environment. Like, it'd be easier to learn Welsh if you're surrounded by Welsh-speaking people. Welsh is the most spoken minority language in the United Kingdom, but its importance shouldn't be exaggerated. Welsh translation services aren't as common as those for major languages, but it's just as necessary, whether for academics, a writer, Welsh set, or a business. Welsh is really, really important, even if it's minor. It evolved from Brythonic, the main language spoken in Wales, English in southern Scotland, when the Romans invaded in 43 AD. So most Welsh groups come from Brythonic, basically. Now, a couple of phonological rules. Rule number 1. The stress is always on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate means second to last. So the stress will always be on the second to last syllable, no matter how many syllables there are in a word.
That's interesting.
Rule number 2. No silent letters. No matter what word it is, even if it's that really, really cool long word that we'll show you at the end of this video, there will be no silent letters. Rule number 3. The Welsh IPA is very, very similar to the English IPA. It has vowels, consonants, and diphthongs.
Of course the IPA is the same, but the set of sounds in the IPA is what changes.
And that brings us to phonological processes. There are 3: nasal, soft, and aspirate. Nasal is when any sound in front of a nasal consonant changes to an alveolar plosive. Soft, whenever sharp G like giraffe.
Or like in the word guerrant, as I mentioned earlier.
Guerrant. It'll change to G as in jam. The J sound. It becomes softer when in front of a vowel. Aspirate means heavy breathing, like the puff, puff, puff of a train. Alright? Well, I think you have everything.
Yeah, thank you. That helped a lot.
You're welcome. Bye.
It's VSO.
Verb, subject, object.
Narcissa.
Oh, anyway, I also learned about the morphology.
Narcissa.
It's not my fault, you stupid.
Anyway,
Narcissa. That's rude.
anyway, I also learned about like the phonotactic rules. That was like very interesting. I also got so many pictures of knowledge. I'll show you. My camera.
Wait, phono?
Oh yeah, I also dropped it.
It's phonological rules. At least get the words right. Anyway,
Okay.
did you learn anything about Finland?
I learned it's called Welsh.
It's Welsh, and it's spoken in Wales.
Oh, that's very interesting.
It's 44% Christian. It's technically in the UK, but they have their own flag and they consider themselves independent.
That is very interesting. I didn't learn about that. That was very cool.
They also pride themselves on their language because they think it's very important.
Interesting. So
Anyways.
also I've heard of how they're spoken. Apparently it's very similar to some language, I think. And I don't know.
It's
That's
really
all I've
similar
heard.
to Pictish, Cornish, Gaelic, and Breton. It's in the Proto-Celtic language family. It comes from Proto-Celtic and Gallo-Brittonic, and then it's Welsh.
Cool. That is
very proud of you.
amazing. I hope you didn't know. I am very excited. I really am very happy I went there.
Alright. So, basically, Welsh was spoken and a long time ago, but then people were shamed for speaking Welsh. So then it became less and less common. But then now it's becoming more common, and people actually pride themselves on being able to speak Welsh.
That is so cool.
And now tell me that she's your favorite child.
You both are my